All right, good morning. I want to recap my trades from yesterday, Thursday, May 12th, 2022. Thursday, I finished the day up $95.27. Pretty much a straightforward day, just pretty much green. A couple good trades. Pre-market got me slightly green. Some good trades at the open that got me up to around 95, 100 bucks. Gave a little bit off the top and sitting near the highs of my day, which is pretty good. We did get some opportunity, however, it's very sporadic, not much of continuation. We got a lot of pops, maybe one pullback or so, and then it would flush or it would fade. Volume was just not consistent, so I was really just adamant on taking my profits quickly. So I pretty much had a lot of small gains that just added up over time, and I was able to walk away with at least a decent green day, which is good. That's really all I'm asking for in this market is just a decent base hit kind of green day. I'm not looking to make new highs on my biggest green day. I'm not looking to have my biggest green day ever on days like today or yesterday or this whole week, just because it's just been so slow. So I'm just really sticking to the plan of just taking my profits on the breakout or even before the breakout sometimes. Range trading, dip buying, like taking my profits real quick and then cutting my losers even faster. So let's take a look here at RDBX. RDBX was my first trade pre-market. This was the stock that was kind of going crazy the day before, which gave the best opportunity on Wednesday. Pretty much just a bottom bounce that reclaimed this level and kind of filled the gap and then started fading again. So I thought we'd see maybe another bounce. So I took a stab at it. The volume was very, very light. Now that I'm looking at it, it wasn't even worth the trade, but it did work out in my favor. I was buying off the 9 EMA and looking for potential continuation, and I pretty much just sold right into the pop. I was pretty much just sold into the pop, looking for another setup. If we did get continuation, I would add back. But just how this market has been, I'm just been taking my profits real quick. So a nice 5-cent gain or so on 200 shares. Just a nice small gain. Then we had CGEM. I thought this one would give some more moves than it did. So pre-market popped up here real early. Didn't have any volume. And then, you started getting trickles of volume and kind of retesting the highs a little bit. So that's when I started to trade it. Right when volume came back in and started to reclaim, VWAP, hold the 9 EMA here. So I took a position at 926 and then took off into like a double top here just because volume was very light. So I wasn't really looking for a surging move yet. So just taking my profits quick here. Another, reclaim of the 9 EMA. Looking for a break of 938. Got the break of 938. Took a little bit of a bigger position size. However, not the biggest position size I've ever taken, but moderately decent position size. 150 shares on $9.35 on average. Taking that off for a nice 8-cent profit. Pretty solid. Did a nice 1-minute pullback here, thinking we'd see a bigger continuation move. But I was looking for this candle to make another 20-cent move. But just the volume wasn't there, so took it off for a scratch. Here we held the 9 EMA, and then we got some nice volume on this candle. That's where I sized in for the break of 950 and then adding higher for the extension as I saw volume coming in, and I took that one off. This was probably one of the biggest green trades of my day. Not that big, but for 200 shares, and I got a nice about 10 cents. That's pretty solid. And then I held a core position, added on a pullback at 976, and we got a break at the new high, and I took that off at 986, still holding 50 shares. Added back at 994 for the break of 10. Took some off to kind of manage my risk a little bit because I thought we were a little extended off the 9 EMA. I thought we would see a pullback to the 9 EMA before we saw the break of 10, but it kind of just started going. And I tried getting fills at 998, but it didn't go through. All the whole thing didn't go through, and so I pretty much didn't get filled through my full position. Broke 10 and immediately reversed. And I took it off for a break of 10 because I figured, we were really extended off the 9 EMA. The market is not that strong. And we just broke a key resistance point. And that's where, traders are going to start thinking that they need to start taking their profits. Usually after a break of any resistance point, you're always going to have profit takers. And in this market, you're going to have more profit takers than people starting to buy, especially because it's so extended off the 9 EMA. And you just had some 3 solid green candles there. So definitely people are going to be taking profits, and in a weak market, definitely going to be a reversal. So I took my profits there. And this right here, I was up $50 on the day here. It was really nice. Here got dip buy back down to the 9 EMA for a potential bounce. This wasn't an authentic bounce here. This candle kind of just shot up without letting anybody sell. And so that kind of spooked me a little bit. I averaged down a little bit, thinking we'd see a bigger bounce, but we just never got it. So I just took it off for a small loss. And so that, CGEM, yeah, it was up about like $45 or so on CGEM, which is nice. And then we had BWV, was also another good one. Gave some opportunity at the open. So here, I thought BGEM was on the radar. My thought process, BGEM was on the radar because we had a lot of resistance right here of this previous high at 671, and then you had a resistance all the way back. Let me pull up the 10-day chart. All the way back here at 712. So I had, a price level there. And then, we had this uptrend level, constantly kind of just chopping to the upside. But I thought we would see a bigger push through 712, kind of like an extension to squeeze out the shorts before flushing. But we never got that. We kind of just kept topping out here. So we may pull back a little bit, but I think in the future, I think we might see a nice rip through 712. This is the first day of the merge, so this is like the most recent price action just right here the past week, and the past is from a different stock. So we'll see if we can break the 712 level, and then it's pretty much a blue sky setup from there. So let's look a little closely. My key level I was looking at the break was 684. That was the previous high, right? 684, yeah. So let's go to the 1 minute. And let's look at this. So 684, that's the place that I'm looking at. So I had this on my radar because it was a mover the day before, just to consistently, just chopping to the upside. So I thought we'd see, that same movement again today, which we did. So we had a pop right at the open. I didn't just blindly jump on this because it popped up because, well, look at the volume, only 237,000 shares. On the first minute candle, you want a lot more. You want more than 1 million shares of volume on the first candle. That's where the first candle is most likely to be the biggest volume candle there is, and on most leading gappers and leading volume leaders. The first minute candle is very important for volume to be there if you want to just jump into a pop. If this was very, very high volume, then it's more likely that this pop would just hold itself and then continue higher. If this pop would have held 660 or so on high volume, over 1 million shares, then I would add my starter position, looking for the break of the 675 high, and then adding again and looking for a move higher. So since it was low volume, very reluctant to just jump in. And then we had a pullback here, still low volume, so kind of just monitoring, see if we get some buyers coming in. Then I see this candle reclaim, and then now it's like it's game on. I know there's buyers under this. Volume is matching the open price, the open candle at the open price. Reclaim the level. Add a little bit late, 663. I could have had my starter here at 650. This is a bullish engulfing candle. So I could have had my starter at 650 for the break of the open. So that's like a red to green there. That's where my starter should be. And then looking to add into a position up at 660 instead of putting my starter at 660. So I hesitated. I remember I hesitated a little bit because I was a little bit spooked about this stock. I know it's really choppy. Then we had a nice micro pullback here. And then as I just, saw volume coming in and this candle was turning green from red to green and breaking this previous high, I started adding 668, which was the high of this candle. And then we got a nice pop through the high here, took it off for a nice 10-cent gain, 200 shares. And then we got this huge extension, and that's where I added back aggressively for the break of $7. Actually, no, I added after the break of $7. I was thinking we'd see a bigger move. I kind of FOMO'd into this, to be honest with you, and I actually took a 5-cent loss. That's actually a 5-cent loss there. Wow. So that's a $15 loss right there. Not really big, but I could have avoided it if I just didn't hesitate or been patient to not FOMO into this. Because I saw the break of 7. I thought we were going to rip up the 712 and then break 712 and rip to like 750. I thought that was going to be a big move because I thought shorts are just going to get squeezed pretty hard. So I think that's what my thought process is when it broke 7. So, but it was a little bit of a FOMO trade, especially going in with 300 shares. It's pretty significant for a very extended trade there. So then I did get trapped there, but I managed my risk. I just took it off because I realized that I was in too high. Had a massive pullback, and I tried buying the dip here, and then I averaged down a little bit, looking for a pop, and then I took it off for break even just because my average wasn't that good. I really should have been buying down at 660. That would have been a great trade there if I could have got into the bottom of that and had a really low average. But I not FOMO'd. I was a little bit too early. 683. I was too early for the dip. I should have waited for the retest of the 9 EMA before buying the dip. So that was my mistake. So then here, I was looking for a move past 688 as this candle was holding the VWAP and reclaimed the VWAP and held. And we did get a little bit of a move, took it on for a 2-cent gain. Here's a dip buy, reclaim with a 9 EMA. But I took that off for about a break-even trade just because this candle dipped down again below. So I was a little bit spooked there. But it was a good trade if I would have held that. I think I was just a little bit too early again on this. I think my timing was a little bit off. I bought, the reclaim of this, and then it dipped down below again. So I was a little bit spooked. Usually, if a stock is strong, it's going to dip down below 9 EMA and then reclaim on volume, and then it's not going to dip down again. If it dips down again, it shows there's still a lot of sellers. So that's what kind of spooked me a little bit, and I took that off for about break even, maybe a small gain. And then we got that push, which, if I held that 500 shares, I would have been up nicely, but it didn't work out like that. I bought back in at 683 to see a move here, and, we got a huge flush rejection candle. Took some off to manage my risk, but, I saw it kind of holding this level, so I held 200 shares, and then added back at 683, got a nice push, took some profits, consolidate a little bit. I thought we'd see, still in play to break 712 and rip higher. So I was still kind of scalping the lows, looking for, a strong move, but we just kept getting those topping tail candles. And here I did take a 10-cent loss, and that was kind of unfortunate there. This is all just kind of range trading here, just buying low, selling high. Here I was actually thinking we'd see a move because we kind of reclaimed that level. But, it was still in a range, so I was still reluctant to go big size. I did size down. You can see 50 shares. From here, I was doing 100 share increments. From here, I'm doing 50 share increments because I'm realizing, well, now this is in a range, more of a consolidation. Until I see a proof that it's going to transition into a front side move again, I don't want to get as aggressive. So here I was just kind of getting chopped up, kind of, small red, small green, small red, small green. But if you're range trading, this would have been amazing. And then eventually just faded off. Then came back up, but it was on lighter volume, so I don't think I would have traded this if I was here at my desk. I probably just would have let that go just because it's not very convincing because of the low volume. It's really hard to have high conviction trades when the volume is that light. So that was it on BWV. And that was it. That's all the stocks that I traded. Finishing the day up $95.27. Could have been more if, I had better timing on these pullbacks. But it is what it is. I mean, it's very choppy. This was very choppy, hard to trade. I did a good job managing my risk, and I did a good job walking away when the front side, well, no, I guess I didn't. I did a lot of range trading here. So that's another thing I guess I could work on is to, when the stock is entering a range here, noticing that faster and transitioning to either a range trade strategy or just stopping trading altogether until I see more confirmation that the front side is still going, or we're going to reinitiate a front side. Then I could get back aggressive and start trading again. But really, none of this was really worth it. I think I actually lost money a little bit. I think this is where I lost a little bit off the top here. But it wasn't really worth trading that. But all in all, very good. It was good enough to, have a solid, decent gain on it. I think the reason why I was a little bit hesitant, a little bit too early to get into my trades is because of just the very slow, choppy market. So I'm just trying to take quick moves. And then sometimes I'm finding myself overthinking a little bit. And that's when I'm, a little bit too late or I'm a little bit too early. It's usually when I'm following my confidence and following my conviction in a trade that I'm able to get in at like the perfect entry or the perfect timing, or have my starter position and then wait for the confirmation for a couple minutes, and then after a couple minutes and the volume coming in into a breakout, and I can confidently add higher. That hasn't been really happening just because we've been having so many rejection candles, false breakouts. So I'm finding myself buying, selling, buying again, selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, instead of buying higher, buying higher, taking some profit, re-adding on a dip, and then seeing a potential move higher. Just because the market hasn't been really performing that well, I haven't been really doing that. So, but it's just good because I've been able to manage my risk better and actually walking away with some solid green days because of that approach to the market. So in a way, that hesitation and that kind of scalping technique of just taking small gains, re-adding or rebuying, taking it all off, rebuying, taking it all off, I've been able to stay green so far this whole week, which is good. Small green is perfect. I don't want to be red. At least if I can walk away with some profit every day, it's really a win, especially in this market. So very, very grateful for that. But still looking forward to a better market. So that's it. A little bit longer of a recap. But if you guys enjoyed it, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next day trading recap video. All right, peace.